Welcome to this week's Fireside Chat with Jesse. I am joined today by Sahil Sharma, VP of Business Development at Rosenthal Capital Group. Thanks for joining me, Sahil.
Thanks for having me here, Jesse.
Nah, it's great to have you on the program. It's great to meet you in person. What was that? Last week, I guess, by the time this comes out, a few weeks ago at the EF Cares golf tournament. So thank you for, I don't know how far away you were from the course, but braving the
About an
weather.
hour, yeah, about an hour actually, and it was funny to me. Driving on over there was monsooning, so I was shocked that we had the tee time still, and happy we got out there. It was a great event.
Yeah, it was my phone started going off that morning at 5 a.m. and it was like, look, the food and the drinks are paid for. We're gonna figure out some kind of golf event. We're
Oh
gonna think about,
yeah,
do we do like an indoor putting contest? I don't know. But it's the Northeast in the summertime. Unfortunately, those things happen, but we got lucky. I didn't think we were gonna get all 18 in.
no, I did not. Honestly, it cleared up quite well. Weather got a little bit better, and I saw the sun for a bit, so I can't complain. It was a beautiful course.
And then when the sun came out, you're like, okay, now it's too hot. Can you rain just a little bit, please? That's gonna be great. That'd be fantastic.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me. For those individuals watching that haven't had the opportunity to meet you, do you mind just kind of giving your background and your career in equipment finance, Sahil, or I guess
Sure,
ABL as well?
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, once again, my name is Sahil Sharma. I work for Rosenthal Capital Group. I've been in the equipment finance industry for the past 5 years. I started out at Sumitomo Mitsui, and then I transitioned over to Accord CapEx, supporting their Accord equipment finance portfolio, as well as driving some ABL opportunities on over there. We then got acquired in October of 2024 by Rosenthal and built up a vertical for equipment finance to complement their existing factoring and ABL division. So for the past 5 years, I've been really, getting my hands on numerous types of transactions coming from many different sources, capital markets and direct, different types of requests that are looking for different types of equipment as well as leveraging some of their current assets.
perfect. And I guess how did you stumble across SMFL,
Sure.
5 years ago? That's a question I always like to ask. How did you fall into? Now, granted, as I kind of mentioned before recording, traditionally I do like equipment finance. I know ABL is considered a kind of different market, but you guys dabble a little bit in both, which we'll get
Sure.
into. So I guess I'm always curious to see how people find, these careers.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I'd say post graduation, I was in a number of different markets, different industries. I started out in tech, then moved into pharmaceuticals, and a little bit into healthcare. I actually stumbled into equipment financing because one of my colleagues in the past actually started working in a syndications department within SMFL. So at that point, they were looking for an inside sales guy to kind of help support some of the lead salespeople on the team, and they brought me in. So I'll tell you this much: graduating out of college, didn't know that I was going to establish a career in equipment finance. But I quickly learned, once you enter and you get your footing in it, it grabs you in and it doesn't let you go. And it's been a great 5 years thus far.
Sure, sure. And with SMFL, were you in the city?
Yes, so we were at 277 Park, but I primarily work from home. This was during the COVID time, so it was a big transition, which also was definitely factored into the learning curve of the industry, and trying to get to know the know-how of how the industry works.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. Maybe we'll touch on that just a little bit. So yeah, I can imagine. I mean, when I got started in, my career was in the New York City area, but it was like an office environment, and it's
Yeah,
like you go in and you learn from your peers and you have those water be cliche, but the water cooler conversations,
Yeah.
and you just kind of build that, kind of camaraderie, and you have that sense of team building there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
coming out of college and then working remote, um,
It
you know,
was it was it was it was interesting. It was definitely uh, a learning curve. Equipment finance is and ABL really is a relationship driven business. And it's a business where you have to be in front of your sources, you have to be in front of your customers, and that's just to maintain the relationship, not just to grow the relationship. So, working through COVID, was interesting for me because a lot of those handshakes became virtual handshakes. More or less more Zoom meetings, more Teams meetings,
sure.
more hey, if we're gonna talk, let's stay 6 feet apart, and kind of understand, the market in more of a level where you're one removed of shaking someone's hand and trying to get to know that person in a somewhat intimate level, just to understand their business. Because at the end of the day, every management considers their business their baby. So it's trying to get to that level of a relationship through a screen.
And what did you do, I guess, prior to graduating college? Because that's a lot of insight for someone. Typically, you learn that by seeing or watching others. But
Yeah.
if you picked it up that quickly, what were you doing like in college or before college that kind of made you understand that?
Well, so I went to Rutgers, Newark, for the Rutgers Business School,
Huh.
and attending business school over there, it was a very intimate school over there. It was not as big as the New Brunswick Rutgers Business School, where you have thousands of students running around everywhere with professors, everywhere. For the Rutgers Newark Business School, it was much more geared towards having these one-on-one relationships with your professors, with your peers,
Huh.
which helped me understand and kind of sharpen my sword on not only the financial front of being able to break down a transaction or credit profile and understand what a company does, but also, managing business conversations and being able to, walk through a meeting with, professionals who have been in their industry for 20 plus years, and making sure you're educated and making sure that you know what you're saying. And that was established, through business school, being able to talk to those professors who already have had 25 years of experience within their space of business.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I have to ask those questions because sometimes, like I said, people learn a little bit through like osmosis, where they
Right.
see how other people are successful, and then it's always on the sales side. I mean, I grew up. I mean, I was supporting my dad's business since I was 5, right? So
Right.
constantly interacting
Wow.
with people and can understand how relationship building works
Oh
and
yeah.
just like the psychology of the sales process, right? Um,
Right.
but
Right.
picking that up, and that's good. Good. I mean, as someone who went to West Virginia, like I bust people's chops about Rutgers just from a football perspective. And then I lived in Jersey for a few years, and I think that was the only college. Why you have Seton Hall there too.
We have
But
we have Princeton down south,
yeah,
but
yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, Rutgers. But hey, it's a good school, and kudos to their
it is
business school for doing that. Have you
absolutely.
um have you heard of I think they call it the campus to careers that the ELFA does?
I haven't read into it too much, but I've seen a lot of marketing material on it.
So basically, what that'll do is if you can go to your professor and sit there and say, "Hey, I want to come in and talk to your class about, the equipment finance industry,"
Hmm.
they will provide you like a template of slides. And
Very
what
nice.
you do is if it's something you're interested in,
Of course.
I can just kind of tell you some other people in the local area that can go and kind of support you.
Sure.
It's always
Sure.
better when you have a group,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
different experiences. But I've done it at ASU, I don't know, 5 times.
Yeah.
And it's nice.
I
Last
think
time.
that's I think that's a phenomenal idea. You know, I was blind to the industry as a whole coming into equipment finance, and college didn't prepare me for an industry like this. Obviously it prepared me in the operations of it, like looking at credit profiles and understanding transactions. But outside of that, the industry as a whole, I think, can use more light being shone upon it for students as well. So I would love the opportunity.
Cool. Get you some more information on that. But sorry, I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit.
No problem.
But I guess from a Rosenthal Capital Group perspective, you mentioned they acquired Accord, and that's how you came over. How many locations do they have? Different lines of businesses, number of employees? Sahil.
Sure. So we have a number of locations. We have one location out in California. The equipment finance group is actually out in Midwest Chicago. And then our headquarters are in New York. And then we have a location down in the South as well on the East Coast. I can't remember where exactly. I believe
Oh,
it is Georgia.
oh,
But so we have a number of locations around the states. I think over 300 employees now. And I think in terms of volume that we are churning on the factoring side, and this is to go into a little bit of history for Rosenthal Capital Group. So prior to the name of Rosenthal Capital Group, it was known as Rosenthal and Rosenthal. And it is almost a 100-year-old company. And it's the largest independent factoring firm in the nation. So we do about $11 billion in factoring revenue, factoring volume, sorry.
wow.
And then we have our ABL product, pipeline product, PO financing, inventory financing, and then finally in October of 2024, we brought on equipment financing. And so right now we're slated to do about $100 million of volume in equipment finance this year. So we are growing pretty rapidly, and we're supported by the Rosenthal family, as well as their very well established connections supporting the business as well.
And then from based on that volume, like, do you guys have a sweet spot as far as I know in like equipment finance, you have like micro, small, medium,
Of
large,
course, yeah.
right? On in ABL, is there a similar type of, and pardon my ignorance on the ABL side,
No, no problem. On the ABL side, we start at 500,000,
okay,
and we go up to 30 million.
okay,
And likewise for our factoring product as well.
okay.
Yeah.
So you guys doing several transactions, 300 people. That's pretty big. Now, do you work in the office, or is it more of a hybrid scenario? You go in when you want. I know on the sales side, traditionally we can kind of do whatever you want,
Right.
but you seem like the guy who probably would like to be in the office too if traffic didn't suck so much some days. Let's face it, it does.
So I'll tell you this much. I'll tell you this much. I moved from New Jersey to Staten Island recently, and somehow, some way, the traffic got worse going into the city. And so I try to go into the office at least once a month. I'm primarily on the road, typically sitting down with my clients wherever they are.
Okay.
So I find myself traveling a little bit more to different states and cities just to once again get in front of the sources. But outside of that, I am aiming to be in the office a little bit more, get a little bit more face time in, and we're headquartered in New York, right? So there's so much business to be had there. And honestly, it's not a far throw, and you don't have to try so hard to find your next source that will, provide you with new opportunities.
So, and just bear with me here. I'm just want to dig in a little bit more. So, do you manage your own existing customers and then you're hunting at the same time?
Yes. So I have a number of existing customers that I work directly with,
Okay.
as well as some established sources that I've carried over since the acquisition, which has been great for me. Some wonderful people that I've met within the industry that I plan to keep friends with through my entire career. But outside of that, we're hunting, we're out on the market, we're looking for more and more partners, trying to drive good partners rather than partners who you know look to get multiple term sheets out there. We like to work with our partners very closely and grow with them, who typically have the documents out with the customer and they have a good relationship with the customer. They're not a one and done shop, right? So they're saying, here's a $2 million request. We want to grow this name to $20 million, and that's how we approach every transaction, and that's how we hope our partners approach every transaction as well.
It's fantastic. I like that. I like that methodology, right? Let's show you what we can do with something. Maybe, I mean, $2 million is still $2 million, right? It's a good
Yeah, of
number.
course,
But it's like, how do we grow
of
that?
course.
Not trying to be cliche,
Yeah,
but it's just like, yeah, let us deploy that
no,
with them. Then let's show you what we can
I
do.
mean,
Keep going.
honest,
So
honestly, it makes a lot of sense too, right? You want to get into an investment that you truly believe in.
yeah,
And I think that there is plenty of opportunity to have those transactions, those one-off transactions, be placed elsewhere. But with Rosenthal, just the way that it's run, just the way that the Rosenthal family is and the management is they're here for the long run, not just to provide you capital and gain some interest on it.
sure. That's great. I mean, it's great. You get a lot of this private money now. I'm sure it's happening on ABL side too. That's kind of coming in, PE firms that are coming
Oh yeah.
in, and they want those. I mean, let's just face it. They want those 3 to 5 year.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, it's just kind of like, all right, well, I see that, and we all want that too. But
Of
it's just
course.
like I'd rather just kind of just go like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
So,
from a, I guess, business development perspective, when you're looking at, are you predominantly just in the Northeast? Is that where you like to focus, or do you just jump on a plane? Like, how do you determine, I guess, where the Sahil Roadshow goes next?
sure. Yeah, I mean, I like to get on the road. I'm not bound to just the Northeast. I'm all over the country. Actually, both of my sources are out in California as well. So I try to find any excuse as I possibly can to get out of the Northeast weather that we're having and spend some time out in San Diego and enjoy the warm weather.
I don't blame you.
But
We have a ton of people here in Phoenix too. I'm just throwing it out there.
you
It's
know
a
what? I, I
financial
I
hub
I
there.
have to get out there. Honestly, I've seen some great hikes, and I gotta try them out. But we're not none of the business development people over at Rosenthal are locked to any specific region.
Okay.
We're really out there and looking all around, making sure that we're covering our bases and making sure that we are, spreading our hands and our name wherever we can, just to make sure that the name gets put in front of someone who we're looking to work with.
And any, I guess, from just a travel perspective, any best practices for our fellow sales brethren out there in regards to things that work for you or things not to do when
Well,
you're
you know
planning?
what? I'm still early in my traveling. I
Okay.
would say definitely pick an airline and stick to it. Stay as loyal to it as you possibly can. I think that is one of the best advices I can give thus far. And outside of that, always, always, always take account for delays, especially if you fly into Chicago. I think that's the biggest one I can have.
I would agree, and I think a couple of the runways are down because they're doing something, and yeah, I would agree. I mean, the hotel thing is nice too, but more with an airline. So, what do you do? Would you default to United because that's the closest one to you, or did?
Yes, United over the Newark airport. That's the largest United hub. So I mean,
Yeah, it was
I can
nice
get
when I lived there because lived in Hackensack. I would just go direct everywhere.
yeah,
Now in Phoenix, it's like, yeah, we have American that goes, it's American hub, and I'm like, no, thank you.
yeah,
I'd rather
yeah,
not. Maybe if I fly
yeah.
to Vegas because Southwest is jacked up now. But it's like, yeah, I feel you. But like also with like United, it's like I have 1.5 million miles.
Oh,
So
wow.
earlier this year, I was praising them because of their service, because I was going to miss a connection. They actually brought a car to the gate.
Oh,
So
wow.
I got that. I was like, this is
Oh,
awesome. It's great.
that's
The last time I was flying through Chicago from upstate New York, like they
yeah.
didn't, like I got to the gate and the door wasn't even shut. And they're like, oh yeah, we gave away your
Oh,
stuff.
no.
And I was like, what? So it's like they were here, then they went back down, and then I
Yeah.
just realized that, you know what? It's travel roulette, man. What's gonna
It
happen today?
it really is. It really is. And the way that these airline ticket pricing, I was just talking about this yesterday actually. The way that these ticket prices are going north and north, I mean, it's just getting more costly. There's a lot more hoops to jump through now. I feel like nowadays traveling, I guess another piece of advice, if a lot of people don't do it already, but especially in the role that I'm in today, getting clear, getting TSA pre-check, I mean, I feel like that's 101, making sure that you're able to get through the security line as quickly as possible.
But touchless doesn't cost anymore. Just
Oh
select a box and go. Like,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
go.
It's great. I mean, and there's a lot of development in the airline industry as well, in commercial airline industries. So I think there is I think there's massive potential there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess from a in regards to sales, like how are you leveraging technology? Just gonna throw it
Sure.
out there, like AI, I mean, I think of how I've been leveraging that for like the last couple of years, and I'm just like,
Right.
dang, where was this
Right.
stuff? Where was this stuff when I was 5 years in as opposed to 21 years in? I couldn't think of,
Right.
I don't know how much useful I'd be or whatever, but it just makes my day so much easier.
So that's a great question, honestly. I when I entered the industry about 5 years ago, I walked into my first ELFA funding conference, and it was great. My boss at the time said, "What you're going to do is you're going to sit there in the lobby, and you're gonna take on as many meetings as you possibly can. Going to the first time, but you're not gonna be able to go into any of the rooms. We're not getting you memberships." Like, okay. And so I was maybe a year or two out of college at that point, and my brain's running on anything innovative and emergence, and an emerging market. And when I walked into the room, I sat down with plenty of people who have different types of procedures and looks at different types of opportunities. So I found that obviously in equipment finance, you have middle of the fairway transactions, construction, manufacturing, and medical transactions that are just equipment intensive. And on the other side of that, you have processes for underwriting and lead development, as well as marketing, to be very varied organization to organization. So I think from 5 years ago to now, I talk to the same organizations and I see a 180-degree turnaround in how they're approaching transactions nowadays, and it's great to see, because what I'm seeing in the market is an adoption of AI tools and just efficiency tools to drive the underwriting process, get transactions, for various different types of industries and ticket sizes, to the underwriter a little bit quicker, which helps the turnaround time for customers to get their capital as required for their business operations. On the other side of it, you're seeing an immense amount of activity within the tech-enabled or the tech-driven space. I mean, I don't want to segue into AI and data centers, but it's an easy segue in this position where at this point, uh, it's one of the biggest markets that's emerging in the
Sure.
equipment finance space. So I mean, I think at this point, as a lender, as a broker, you know, you want to be able to provide or implement some level of technology that helps with the lead gen process and the underwriting process, just to make sure that you're able to get to the real true value add to your customers sooner rather than later.
100%, man. And it's just another way for, I mean, if we're running a million miles a minute,
Right,
like I said, I think this is probably my eighth call today and it's only 11 a.m. So it's like, how do you track everything efficiently and like
right.
just be effective? And it used to be just notepads everywhere. Then it's like, what do I do with that? Or, I think I spilled some
Right.
water on that one. I don't even know which one it is. And now it's just, I have a process where it's like, nope, here's the conversation. Here's what I did. Here's what's going on. Sometimes you have a
Yeah,
transcript, you throw it into a project and it's just like, bam, okay, here's what I need to do it. Let's
yeah.
go. Yeah.
And that's great, right? I think that's an amazing tool. I love to see that in action, mostly because, I can only speak for the time that I was working, but I can only imagine in the past that, originating transactions, getting it in front of your team, getting it underwritten, getting it approved, and a documentation review that's required, uh, you know, um, uh, when the deal is coming in for funding, that all was a little bit slower in the past, and it wasn't as easily accessible for the customer to submit those requests, those transaction requests,
Mhm.
comparative to now how it is today. Nowadays, I think that it's much easier for a customer to submit a transaction or a need request in. It's much easier to get your financial spread. It's much easier to find the right vendor for you. So, with all the efficiencies that are out in the market today, it only drives volume up naturally. So, naturally, as volume is driving up, you want to be able to provide an operations within your business to be able to complement just the natural nature of more volume that's getting inputted from customers nowadays. So you need to have the tech stack to be able to support what the market needs.
Sure. And
Yeah,
especially with some of the dollar amounts of the money that you guys are throwing out there,
you're right.
it
Yeah,
makes sense of why some of these processes take that long. However, commonalities are across the board, and a lot of these tools now can pick up fraud more than they could before. So
yeah,
it's just like, let's look at the data. What's it telling us? And
yeah,
then that
absolutely.
whole folder doesn't have to pass through so many hands. It's
Yeah,
more of just a kind of a, yeah, okay, that makes, yeah. Anyway, but
yeah. And at the end of the day, human error is going to be a little bit larger than machine error, and in most cases. But at the end of the day,
Skynet's real, man. It's real.
but at the end of the day, you need someone to look at it. You need someone to verify. You need someone to make sure that we're not 100% reliant on what a computer's telling us.
And a computer's never going to reach out. Well, I mean, a robot might reach out, shake your hand, but they're not going to be that personable.
You ever hear a telemarketer, or not even a telemarketer? You ever hear just a customer service call and it's driven by AI? I'm hitting zero every single time. I'm trying to get to the operator as
Oh,
quickly as possible.
I just start like if it's you talk aggressively and it just naturally just kind of like look, dude. But there was one AI thing where I was what was it? Snake River Farms. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Okay.
Like just phenomenal like steaks and just meat that you can order and it's great.
Oh
Uh,
wow. Yeah.
and like I wasn't going to be home a day and it's 110 in Phoenix. So I'm like, you guys were supposed to deliver this yesterday when Brooke was home. She's at her clinic today. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want this sitting like outside for 7 hours.
Of course.
And I emailed it and instantly it wrote right back. And I'm
Oh,
like, okay, well, all right, kudos to
problem
you.
solved.
But it was a generic, and then it was three generic answers. And I'm like, why don't you why doesn't you it was something where it was like, listen, AI agent, escalate this to a real person, please, because
Yeah.
you don't understand what I'm saying, and I don't care about your policy. Okay.
And
and
yeah,
it and
yeah.
it and it did. It did, but I was just like, what the
Yeah, and that's where that's a case study where it's where you see AI becoming a little bit more of an obstacle than it is a tool, right? Everyone harps on how it is just more efficient. I mean, I just harped on it how it makes our operations
yeah,
much
absolutely.
easier. But at the end of the day, it also is something that can hinder some level of progress. There's so many times just like that, where it's kind of like, why am I taking this extra additional step if I could just talk to someone really quickly and get this thing settled, and it'll be,
Well,
we'll be good to go.
and it's hard because like I sit there sometimes and it's like I want to leverage that technology just because I think it makes you just capture everything. But then
Right.
I think about how long like I've iterated an email
Yeah.
for, and it's like, Jesus, I spent like 30 minutes going through like five different versions of this. Like, why don't I just send it myself? Because it's like, it's like because you can't make it too scripted. Otherwise,
Oh
people are
yeah.
gonna be like, dude, come on.
It's like
Like,
you've never used that word in your life, Sahil, and I'm like, maybe,
no.
but
Like, look at you, and I've talked to you. You're not that intelligent. Like, what did you just say? Like, come on, stop it.
and, it's so funny. My family, my father actually, he's worked on a lot of AI development on his side, and I talk to him about this all the time. And the best use case for AI is when a user is using it as a tool, not law, right? So what it spits out to you, you should take it with a grain of salt. It is helpful knowledge. It is going to point you in the right direction. But it's not something that you should say, okay, the AI said it, so I'm going to believe it 100%.
It is laughable when I get those emails back. I'm like, bro, you can't even take out the M space or the M dash. I'm like, come on. Or I see press releases with them. I'm like, come on.
I mean,
Like,
it's the way the
yeah,
world is.
you're not even trying. But hey,
If it
whatever.
works, it works, I guess.
So I'm going to switch topics a little bit, Sahil, if you don't mind. So you just received your CLFP.
Yep.
I am not one. Reed's been on me forever. So sorry, Reed. Yeah. Uh,
Well,
so
yeah,
talk to me about that. Like why? Because on the business development side, right? I
yeah.
mean, you don't. I traditionally don't see a lot of business development people going for that.
Hmm.
I think everyone should have a
Sure.
course like that. So I definitely see the value of why.
Yeah,
But just kind of walk me through the mindset of why you wanted to go for that, and then kind of what
sure.
the designation means to you.
So I first heard about the CLFP when I was at SMFL. And at that time, my former boss mentioned that, he told me something really important that kind of stuck with me through now 5 years. He said, if you're going to be a good salesperson, if you're going to be a good originator of equipment finance transactions, you want to know every aspect of the deal whenever you get a deal submitted in. It's easy just to kind of, I guess, tunnel vision and only look at my operations of what I'm doing, which is, you know, getting out into the market and building these relationships. But it would be ignorant of myself to kind of submit these deals and get it over my credit team, get it over my docs team, and never know what really they're doing or what's going on. So
How is the sausage made? All right, show
exactly.
me, show me.
And so he mentioned of course, um, what he did, he sent me over a quick write up of some of the information that the CLFP kind of goes through. I gave it a quick read, and it seemed like it stepped through every single process that a deal does go through. So I took the CLFP. I learned a lot about documentation, a lot about the accounting background, for a capital lease or for a true lease, or for just a simple equipment finance agreement. And outside of that, just the legal background that is into consideration for every single one or every single type of structure that there is out there within equipment finance. So I found that getting my CLFP, especially early on in my career, and understanding that, hey, I need to know my deal from the moment that I get it to the moment that I fund it, and then understand portfolio management as well, um, was key to me. So I did get that. It was a challenging exam, and I did learn quite a bit. And I would say that I'm useful in conversation in all sides of the business now.
Perfect. That's just another thing where it's just like people are like, oh yeah, we should do that. And I'm kind of like, ugh, like what? One more
It's
thing.
good.
God, and God forbid if because I've talked to some people and they're like, yeah, I failed that. And I'm like, oof, that sucks. And I'm like, yeah, yeah.
I gotta say, you find out immediately. Once you press submit, you maybe have, I think, 5 minutes until you get that email of whether you pass or fail. And I remember I got that email and said I passed, and I I got up and I was like, I'm going out for dinner today. Like that was it's an 8 hour exam. It's an 8 hour exam.
Dude, I'm having martinis if I'm 8 hours sitting because I'm going to take it while I'm doing it. Like, come on, man. Do your best work.
Oh,
It's great. Oh no, and like I said, good for you. I mean, because typically you don't see a lot of business development professionals that are pursuing it because, and I see why. I mean, how can you effectively try to sell a process or a program or anything if you truly don't
right.
know, where it goes after you?
It
Um, yeah,
it came in at an opportune moment as well, and I guess this is a good segue to talk about kind of developing the equipment finance product under Rosenthal as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
I think I received my CLFP maybe a year before the acquisition, and with the acquisition came a lot of education requirements within the equipment finance industry, and providing that to our management team at Rosenthal, and just you know getting them up to speed with what's market and how the industry looks at specific types of transactions, what the documents look like, and what to expect, what to expect customers to be agreeable upon, what to expect customers to push back upon. How do you efficiently work with sources? So I think at that moment, it really helped me kind of assist in that education piece at a elevated level than maybe a typical mid-20s guy would be able to do so. And I think that proved to be in my benefit and proved to be in Rosenthal's benefit as well, just to say, okay, we have an educated team that is supporting our equipment finance portfolio. We're in good hands. We're going to be able to grow this portfolio in a healthy manner because we have originators that know what they're doing.
perfect.
Right. So
Perfect. That's great. It's a nice little plug for the CLFP too. So,
yeah.
Melissa, read it. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, yeah, we're good.
Good.
Awesome.
Good. Um, I want to make sure I'm cognizant of your time here. Sahil, I'm sure you and I could probably talk off a lot of these things for hours on end here, but I do ask people who come on the program to give me a little fun fact about themselves.
Sure.
So, um, you know, besides the fun fact that you live in Staten Island now, which is
Yeah, yeah. My favorite thing on the tee now is every single time I have I'm playing with any randoms or anything, I say, Sahil Sharma, nice to meet you. I'm the only person that you will ever meet moved from New Jersey to Staten Island. But Staten Island's treated me very well. So anyone who is from Staten Island, I'll tell you this much, it's great. But yeah, I guess a fun fact about myself. The coolest mountain that I've ever skied on is actually a dormant volcano out in Oregon called Mount Bachelor. Historically been a big skier, but took a little bit of a break. Just got married as well, so I guess that's also a fun fact. So.
Hey, as from business development people, you want those younger people that just got married, they're about to have some kids, and
Yeah.
they need they need the commissions coming in, man. So perfect, perfect.
It was
The
my
circle of sales life. You're getting through it.
it was my sales tactic. I came to my sources and I was like, guys, yeah, I'm Indian, and we had a large wedding. We had a 4 day 5 event wedding.
Oh no!
Uh,
Oh shit! Really?
yeah. Um,
All right.
and so I told all of my colleagues, my sources, I was like, guys, listen, love me, hate me. I got a vendor bill that I need to pay, and if we close this deal, I can pay it. It's been great, and I gotta say, through the years of working within the industry and getting to know a $1 trillion industry with not that many players in it has been phenomenal. It's been really good to me. Great kind people, great, always ready to get on the course, which is always my baseline at this point. And always ready to talk shop, talk deals, talk about anything. I think that it's a growing industry, more than it already has grown. Being on the younger side, entering into this industry, and being on capital markets and direct, it has given me a ton of exposure um, to be able to provide an additional amount of value and confidence and comfort with some of the people that I work with, knowing that I'm not leaving the industry anytime soon, and that I'll be a partner for them, for the next 10, 15, 20 years, providing them, some type of support, whether it's on the capital market side or direct side. So it's been great. It's always funny to me that especially on the direct side, these CFOs, CEOs, and controllers who are, much more experienced than me sit down, they talk to me, and they're valuing my opinion, and I think that's one of the greatest feelings that I've ever had.
No, that's great. You almost kind of get like that almost imposter syndrome a little bit because it's like I've had this success. This is what I know I'm capable of doing. But you see some of the people you sit across the table from, you're
Yes.
just like, okay, what value am I going to bring to you? But what you
Yes.
don't realize is they don't know your business as well as you do. So
Exactly.
it's always kind of one of those things where I'm like, yeah, no, I know, but still, I think those are natural nerves. I mean, I
Oh
still
yeah.
had that this week when we kicked off with, a monitor top 20 company. And
Yeah.
it's like, why am I in this room doing this? And then it's
Yeah.
like, I know why I'm here because this is what we do. And it's just, I think those are natural nerves.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's yeah, I want to say one day it'll go away, but I don't think it ever
Well,
will.
it's good though, because otherwise it's like, what are you, like a psychopath or just, I'm sure we could go all the way down these things. It's like, wait, you don't have feelings? It's like, yeah, of course I do. Like, come on. Yeah,
Actually, it's so funny. I shared my contact with a member from one of the equipment finance conferences, and the iPhone, they got the you can share the contact by touching the two phones together, and I forgot that my profile picture on my contact for my cell phone was just this silly like emoji thing. The guy that I was speaking to was like the CEO of one of the organizations that I wanted to work with, so we connected. I get his contact information. It says his name. It says what company he works for, and a professional LinkedIn photo of him, and then he gets my contact, and it's just me who I was doing something dumb, honestly. And he was like, you know what? Honestly, good to know that you're human. And I was like,
You're just sitting there like, ah.
I was like, we put on the suit and tie. We put on the suit and tie, but eventually we got to take that off and be our personalities at one point.
We all put on underwear in the morning.
Yeah,
Well, never mind. No, that's whatever. Not going there. But yeah, we all put on suit and ties. How's that sound? Or
absolutely, absolutely.
it's almost it's what you can say nowadays. You're just like, wait, what's going on? Yeah. But
That's great.
yeah. But Sahil, it's been great to get to know you. I can't believe that went by that fast. But I appreciate your
Likewise.
time today. It was nice to meet you a few weeks ago. And look forward to staying in contact with you and following your career in, ABL and equipment finance.
Absolutely. And Jesse, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully I'll be on this again. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. So looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely, sir. We'll talk soon. Thank you.
Talk soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.